Hi everyone, I am Lady Stars on Fire, and this is part 2 of the weekly healing messages for January 21st through the 28th. This is mainly the astrology. Please go back and watch part 1 if you're just catching this part of this week's healing messages. There's so much more guidance in part 1, but I had to leave the astrology out because basically ever since the new moon, I've been working with the great horn god known as Pan, who's been bringing us some information, as well as Gaia and the Tree of Life, to help guide us through this week. But like I said, this video is about astrology. However, like I said, please go back and watch that video, because Pan is trying to help us understand the energies that are going on and how we can manifest correctly, as well as ascend correctly within moving into our higher dimensions and changing our security, how we view security, how we view feeling safe within ourselves as we move into those higher dimensions, coming from the root chakra, the heart chakra, to the crown. I'm going to tell you the information, but to understand it, go back and watch the other video. I was also given in the Hebrew letters, because I often tell you that I'm given guidance in the Hebrew letters and I go directly to the Torah. I was given Lamd, which is speaking to us of the shepherd and teaching and learning, as well as I was given Rabbit as a spirit guide for this week, which speaks to us about abundance, comfort, vulnerability, and overcoming fear. And then I was given the Oracle card for the week. But like I said, please go back. Also, the runes that I speak of in the other video are Uraz, are Induus, as well as on Seuss. So those will help you throughout the week. But again, this is just the astrology. And so now I'm going to get on with that. So there's been a lot of panic going on, and rightfully so. Especially with the government shutdown, there's millions of people who are having to deal with that. The energies of the challenges are coming in, as well as the positives in the astrology, which basically are working with that on a larger sense. I said in the last video that, to be honest, it hit exactly when it was meant to. Because there was a new moon in Capricorn last week. That's when Pan arrived. And that new moon in Capricorn is in our universal 10th house. Universally, that's also community. It's community, but it's mainly career. So we're looking at how we financially get paid. There's your careers, basically. So it will affect many. And we're coming into, not this week, but the next week will be the second full moon in January 2018. First month had 2 full moons. And so, it's major changes that are coming in, but it's all meant for positivity. It's meant to help out in the long run. And like I said, if you go back and watch the other video, Pan is going to help explain that you can choose what you're manifesting and bringing to you. Are you living in the fear, or are you coming into the confidence and finding the security within yourself to know better? Now, as I start off, I'm going to start off with the challenges for this week, because there are a lot of positives, but let's just get the challenges out of the way and knock it out of the ballpark. Okay, Ceres and the node are in Leo. That is our universal 5th house. Remember, Leo is Leo the lion. It is the king of the jungle. It looks at creativity, yes, in that 5th house, but it's also reminding us, with the north node being there and with Ceres being there, it's speaking to us of overcoming our past situations within this creative energy and the energy of Leo the lion itself. And that speaks to the king of the jungle. That speaks to us of the king and its obligations. Basically, what it's obligated to have to do as well. So the king doesn't just take care of itself, it has to take care of the kingdom. Okay, so this is speaking to us also of service within that 5th house, within the universal 5th house, and being able to find creative ways to be able to come to service of this, as well as creativity of speaking to our inner child, our inner fun, our inner joy. And like I said, that's going to take us back to Pan in that other video. But it's speaking to us of letting that inner child come up and find the confidence to come up out of us and enjoy life, to be, to love life, to make love to life, not just be in life. It's not about being in the moment along the lines of fear and doubt. It's about being in the moment of creating and enjoying. This is Ceres and the node speaking to us, directly having a conversation with Jupiter, which is in Scorpio, which is all about life, death, birth, and life, death, rebirth, and the fertility that comes with that. It's the mystery of the fertility of the birthing process. Basically, Jupiter is here all about abundance, but it's also speaking with that creative energy that I was speaking to us about, talking directly to Jupiter in that 8th house of Scorpio. 8th house speaks to us of our relationships and what those relationships are dealing with, what they own, taxes, bills, sharing things such as like your car, your home, your rent, child support. What do the relationships bring to the table and what are they responsible for? So we're looking at that area coming into Ceres's too close to home, nurturing or lack of nurturing. Where is it either not being nurtured properly, or where has it been nurtured so that you know how to continue to do it right? Basically, within these relationships and what they own, basically we're speaking to what it is we haven't learned, because we need to learn it, because that's where the North Node is, so that we can move forward positively. Now, these two energies are also having a conversation with Aquarius. Aquarius is the community, and inside of Aquarius, these conversations of Ceres and the node are speaking also to Sun and Venus. Aquarius is your rebel, the rebel within, the rebel that's not afraid to stand up and do what needs to be done. And this is talking about in a community area and an outward area, how it is that you're bringing this to the world outside of just your life. And it's speaking to the Sun and Venus. And the Sun is your core. Is everything that is your core. It's how do you shine, or why aren't you shining? As well as Venus is where sensitivity is. Venus speaks to exactly what it is we love and why we love it, why it makes us comfortable, why it makes us cozy, why we want more of it, or our sensitivity of why we don't want it there. No, Neptune. Neptune's trying to jump up here. So this energy of that too close to home, that creative energy that's going on with the outer community as well as our relationships and what they own is going to be kind of like clashing. That is the challenge that I'm saying. At this time, especially with that government shutdown, it's going to bring some of that clashing, because we're talking about paying bills. We're talking about being able to, are we creative enough to come up with the way to do all of this and still get by? So these energies are going to cause that panic right now. And that's within those challenging energies. Like I said, that's typical. But everybody knows you can shift things around. Things can be done. The panic is being created by you because you allow it to be created by you. That's what I need you to go back and watch that first video for, so you can start to understand what Pan is trying to explain to us. Now, also under challenges, we have Uranus and Aries, which is the universal first house, speaking to Pluto and Mercury. And Capricorn, which is dealing with those careers where death is happening for change, for the rebirthing. Same kind of idea. It's Pluto is death, decay, and destruction, change for rebirth, renewal, and regeneration. But it's having a conversation with Mercury, our communication with our outer community, our jobs, our goals, our careers within these energies are speaking directly with our Uranus, which is challenging our comfortability of being comfortable within feeling our freedom, within feeling our independence. So our independence, our individuality, that freedom feels like it's being questioned right now. Feels like it might be feeling somewhat like it's being pushed to the limits, or is it being taken away? And that could be also, like I said, with the government shutdown energy. That is typical right now because of what's going on. But the moon this week is also going to, as it moves through the week, it's going to be going through, it's going to be speaking to the whole week long. It's speaking to Capricorn, which is Pluto, Mercury, Lilith, and Saturn. The moon is our not our independence. The moon is our intuitive nature. It is our emotions. It is our sensitivity. It is the depths of ourself. And it is speaking again to that career energy with both Mercury and Pluto, as well as with Lilith and Saturn, which is those rules and boundaries that we create. Are they created for the right reasons? And Lilith is going to be pushing out on you that I don't want to be controlled energy. I don't want to be controlled. I want to be free. And I want to be free. I want to make up my own choices. This is my individuality. I have the right. It's my independence. I have the right. And it's going to be pushing on you there. Those are fearful energies coming through those challenges. I'm telling you this because this is what needs to be overcome. Again, back at that other video. Now, as we move into the positives for this week, I'm going to stick with the moon because as the moon moves through the week, the moon is having major conversations. On the 23rd, the moon is in Aries. It is speaking directly also with Ceres in the node and Leo, the 5th house, which is fire on fire. Okay? That is your individuality, your independence, your freedom, your uniqueness, your inventiveness is positively speaking to Ceres on how to nurture it, how to bring it up and out of you, how to create and bring it in that too close to home feeling, but in a good way. Of how to bring this in so that the North Node can teach you how to overcome what you haven't done right in the past. Okay? So this is energy coming in that fireful energy that the Leo, the lion itself is bringing to that creativity to help the universal first house, your core, get through it more positively. Now, on the 24th and the 25th, the moon and Uranus in Aries are both speaking to Capricorn. That is speaking to Lilith and Saturn in Earth, which is Capricorn. It's an Earth sign, and that's the 10th house. It goes back to our careers, but it also goes to our outer community, how we're viewed by the outer community, because we have the goals we are trying to set within that outer community for our careers, our goals, our jobs. Excuse me. And it's trying to help build a proper foundation, a proper, ability of making it get through so that it's possible right now. Taking that intuitive nature and listening to it, listening to the soul part of you, your inventive self, your higher self, your freedom, all of these things that are part of who make you what you are, that make you independently stand strong in your power. And it is speaking to Saturn about creating the rules that need to be created so that they can get by, especially when we're dealing with the outer community or our career situations, as well as Lilith of how it is that we can possibly make Lilith's energy of you can't tell me what to do work for you. Okay? Then on the 26th, the moon moves into Taurus, which is an earth energy. This is the bull. This is the bullheadedness. This is also where Uraz is going to be coming in as a rune for this week. Again, you can go back and check my website, the Facebook, any of the places that you have my stuff, my videos, to go back and find out more about that rune. But Taurus is the bull. It's bullheaded, but it's also, it enjoys luxury. It enjoys to enjoy. Okay, it wants the better things. It wants the things of more better quality. It wants the finer things of life, luxury. It likes to feel good about its sexuality, but at the same time, it can be bullheaded. And as long as you're taking your bullheaded the right way, for the right reasons, that's good. And we are talking about positive energies because it is also speaking again to that 10th house within career and outer community about Pluto, death, decay, and destruction, for change, for renewal, rebirth, and regeneration. And it's speaking to our Mercury, which is going to be communicating this outwardly in positive ways, as long as you're letting your soul help lead you into it. Listen to the moon this week. Listen to those intuitive energies. Listen to the depths of self speaking to you, because as she's moving, she's going through these signs and she's bringing very important parts up to you that are positive to help you get through. But if you're not listening, it won't help. Now, on the 27th, moon moves into Gemini, which is air. Gemini sees both sides to everything. Gemini, I like to call Jekyll and Hyde. Never really quite sure which side you're going to get, because Gemini does see two sides to everything. It can be on both sides of the map. It can see it completely, but still choose to be on this side instead of on that side. So we're really evaluating things from both standpoints. And it is talking to Sun and Venus in your rebel energy of Aquarius. Again, in your air energy and the outer community, because that's the 11th house. So this is helping you see both sides of what needs to be done, what has to be done in that outer community, and have the balls to possibly do it. Okay? Help you create that rebel within and bring it up, but have the proper sensitivity from Venus to caress it just right so that you can actually make it happen. And the sun can make you shine as you look like you're doing it and making it happen for you, not against you. Okay? That's the thing going on with that third house and the 11th house here, from Gemini to Aquarius, from the moon to Sun and Venus. It's like I said, you want to tap into that moon energy and your core energy this week and allow it to really talk to you. The Aquarius is going to be there anyway, that Aquarius energy, because you've got Pan here this week. Like I said, the great horned god Pan. And he's speaking with Mother Earth, Gaia, and the Tree of Life about helping us get there. But it's up to us. It's always a free will thing. Now, we also have, I'm sorry, I skipped this. On the 25th, we also have a T square, which is Aquarius, the Sun, and Venus, speaking again to Moon and Taurus, which I spoke about. But what I left out is it is speaking also directly to the North Node and Sirius in Leo. So it's fire, air, and earth energies coming together. These are kind of like three typical energies that would maybe be challenging, but the challenge is coming together to create a positive. And what I mean by that is your rebel, your sun, your fire, your Venus of your sensitivity, being able to choose to charm to make you shine within an area that maybe they wouldn't have seen it coming from you. Within those energies of that, I didn't see that energy coming out of her. I didn't see that personality coming out of that person. I didn't expect that person to do that and be able to still be charming enough to make what you want to have happen and make it you look good while you're doing it. Is speaking to the moon and Taurus about how to bring the better things about it forward for you. Basically, this is also talking about self-worth, self-value, not just the outer community, but it's bringing it into your own heart and soul so you have it for yourself, as well as expressing it outwardly and finding the creative way to do it so that you can move forward finally, instead of continuously making the same steps forward and then having to make the same steps backwards, basically. Because like I said, anytime that you're dealing with the North Node, you're dealing with overseeing the challenges that must be learned in order to move forward. And this is coming with being able to bring that creative energy from that Leo energy of that fifth house of the Leo, the lion, who's, that, like I said, the king of the jungle, responsible. What is the king for? His responsibilities and his obligations of service to himself and to others, and bringing all of these energies into being able to caress them just so to make it work. Okay, but that's on the 25th. And then we have sextiles this week. Now, the thing with sextiles is they can be really great, abundant energy, unless you get lazy. Because sextiles are very easy to just be like, I feel pretty good about it. Things are actually and then you never actually got anywhere. Okay, because you got that way. Sextiles, we have a lot going on this week, but the ones that I'm mainly paying attention to, that are bringing my attention up, is Chiron in the 12th house. 12th house is always about learning from underneath, because you've got to heal before you can start your new first houses. Chiron is the wounded healer. He is speaking directly with Mercury again and Pluto in the 10th house. So this is our healing the community, or our outer community, how we're seen and viewed within the situation, so we can create the goals we want and actually make them follow through. The community is having this conversation outwardly, because that is Mercury. So we're being able to express ourselves outwardly well, as long as we're doing it in positive ways without full of ego. We should be able to do this, because Pluto is speaking to us of overcoming that death, decay, and destruction, making the change to create the rebirth, renewal, and regeneration within those career goals, the community, the outward, the outside, your jobs, basically. But we have to first work through the wounded healer part of it. And the sextile is taking it directly over also to Jupiter. Jupiter is all about abundance, higher knowledge, growth. And it's in Scorpio this year. So we're talking about it going through birth, death, rebirth, fertility that never ends, from the mystery that never ends, basically. And it has that sexual abundance to it, which is speaking to us also of coming into not just the fertility, but how do you bring your own personal power up and out of it? How do you find this sexual energy as well within yourself to find yourself sacred again? Okay, so it's about, like I said, it's about finding how to find your power with who you are within that Pluto's change and Mercury's communication of that 10th house, the community, your relationships, and what they own, as well as Chiron and what's healing, because we are talking also about the 8th house, which is relationships and what they own. So we're fixing these problems. As long as you don't get lazy about it, you can fix them, or at least start to correct them. But if you're lazy about it, they're going to blow right by you, and it's going to allow more panic to set in. This is what I mean by the sextile can be very positive energy, unless you're lazy about it. Then you have Sun and Venus in Aquarius again, which is that 11th house of your community, is also talking to Jupiter, but it's also speaking to Mars, which is your warrior. It is your passion. It is your fire. It is your aggressive energy. And it is speaking air and water about solving those issues within those relationships and what they own, as well as in the outer community. All of this is here for you to use the sensitivity from Venus to make it a charming situation, so you can charm your way through it if you're using the energy correctly. You can use the sun in that energy, that rebellious energy, to bring it up and make you charm your way through it, so you shine in a way that makes you look good as you bring the abundance of the change to make it work for you. But again, it's all about the sextiles. If you're too lazy to work for it this week, it will pass you by. I love you. I'll see you next week, and I send you so many blessings and love. Bye, everybody.